so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Look forward to this opportunity. So my general claim is that Cenk Uygur's populism fails because it treats social issues as a distraction rather than essential to achieving economic justice. So kind of my claim here is that there are a lot of social issues that are really important and also really popular with American people, as you're talking about, with a lot of economic issues that are just as popular. If we look at something like the public opinion polling regarding Roe v. Wade, like 70% of Americans were against that, the overturning of that. And I think also what's important in this conversation is to say that the line between social and economic issues is not like very clear cut. If we look at something like abortion and reproductive rights, it is the case that if someone gives birth in this country, a woman gives birth, it's upwards of $18,000, which is a huge economic hit to her. And the Turnaway study found that when women get abortions, or if they're actually denied abortions, they follow up with them about 5 years later, they're 4 times as likely to either remain or have fallen below the federal poverty line. So I think just in general, I'm with you on the claim that we should focus on issues that Americans largely agree about. I just kind of have an issue with, I saw a recent appearance of yours that, culture war issues, as it's framed, just totally divide. I think there's a bit of a grain of truth to that, and we should focus on what unites us, but there are some cultural issues that really do unite us, even if that's not immediately clear in our media landscape.
Yeah, so let me agree and disagree in parts. So first of all, if you say, hey, here's a social issue that polls at 70%, should we lean into it? Of course.
Okay.
I'm saying don't lean into the social issues where we're in a great disadvantage. Okay. So that's just simple logic and strategy. So for example, Trump again did the travel ban. Originally, it was a Muslim ban. You remember that's what he promised on the campaign trail in 2016.
For sure.
And so he's done some variation of that.
Yeah.
Would I tell Democrats, because it affects me and it affects vulnerable communities, you should focus on that first? No.
Okay.
Do not focus on that first. Focus on the things that unite us first. And then you come in and you pass a public option or a paid family leave or higher wages.
Sure.
What you do is you earn credibility with the average American. And they go, okay, now I'm willing to listen. You delivered for me. I now have higher wages or lower drug prices. So what were you saying about the Muslim ban, or what were you saying about transports, or whatever issues that we care about and need people protected on?
Yeah, and I'm really sympathetic to a lot of that. I guess my major issue is a lot of the political revolutions that we see are founded on social issues. So let's take a look at something like the Civil Rights Movement, which was followed up by the Voting Rights Act and other things like that, that drastically improved people's economic standing because they were able to participate in the labor force without discrimination. We see that they go hand in hand. So I guess I'm just wondering, if we're fighting for women to have reproductive autonomy, which allows them to be full participants in the labor force and not be hamstrung by the fact that they're being forced to carry a pregnancy against their will, it seems like that will actually allow women to be more economically productive and contribute to our economy in ways that benefit all of us and are popular. So I'm like, can we walk and chew gum at the same time? Like as you talked about, like I think let's do both, right?
Yeah, I literally said that earlier, as you just referenced.
Yeah.
And so, brother, you're not wrong that they're intertwined, oftentimes, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, while they were doing the civil rights campaign, one of the things that they were pushing forward was something called a freedom budget, which Nina Turner is trying to bring back now.
Right. Yeah.
And so if you notice, by the way, Martin Luther King Jr. got assassinated once he started doing the poor people's campaign,
exactly.
right?
Very
When he got
economic,
into issues of class. And
Yes.
Fred Hampton got assassinated when he tried to bring the different groups together.
Sure.
When he tried to unite the country, unite different races and different economic classes.
Sure.
So what really puts the powerful back on their heels, what they're really worried about is if we all unite.
Sure.
That's why I'm trying to tell all you guys here, please let go of the Republican politicians and the Democratic politicians that have been driving us apart. So if they use social issues to bring us back together, great. But they almost always use the social issues to divide us so that we're so at loggerheads that we don't go, hey, maybe we should raise our wages.
I think it depends on the issue, and I think you can definitely speak to both things. I guess I'm just wondering then, if we use that type of reasoning, what would be your advice around the civil rights movement? Because, for example, racial integration was very unpopular before the Civil Rights Act was passed and the Brown v. Board of Education decision. Would you say that politicians don't lean into it? It's too controversial. You're going to alienate people. Just focus on economic issues. And if they did that, where would we be today?
Yeah, you're right. There has to be a moral exception from time to time.
Sure.
So then the question is, wait, is it a giant moral exception, or is it a relatively small issue on a hill we're choosing to die on? So let me give you the distinction.
Okay.
So gay marriage, I thought, was a core constitutional right.
Sure.
So even when it was very unpopular, I fought for it.
Good.
And we fought and fought and fought until we won, and we convinced the majority of the American people.
Great.
And only after we convinced the majority did we convince Democratic politicians like Obama and Biden to move. If we had just gone after the politicians, we would not have succeeded in the beginning.
Okay, for
so
sure.
now when you get to trans women have the right, or they must be allowed to go into sports leagues like the WNBA. We're not at a core constitutional issue.
And I'm not even addressing that issue.
Right.
I'm talking directly, because you talk about a moral issue. And I think abortion is a moral issue, and everyone in this circle will agree with that, regardless of what side they fall on it. And I think that women...
we fight super aggressively on the
hard
Young
on
Turks
that.
side.
So I guess just then, I'm worried that when your messaging is so much culture war issues distract, culture war issues divide, what it sounds like to me is women's bodily autonomy isn't a core moral issue that is worth fighting for in the same way that gay marriage is to you. That's what it sounds like. Feel free to correct the record.
No, I love that you're clarifying that.
Okay.
No, that's a core constitutional right.
Okay.
That's your liberty that's being taken away.
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to talk about cancel culture? You know, that's when you say, hey, you don't have the right to control your own body. We're canceling that right. We're taking that freedom away from you. Look, when you look at transgender issues, for example, so should they be allowed to serve in the military? And I know a lot of right wing will disagree with me, but yes, that's a core constitutional issue.
Sure.
Yes, they should have the same rights. But I don't have a right to play in the NBA. They don't have a right to play in the WNBA. That's not a constitutional right.
Sure.
My problem is sometimes the extreme left, they say, okay, no, you should do the maximalist approach, and that is the better strategy.
And we're going to die on that hill, basically.
Yeah, and I'm saying don't die on that hill.
Sure.
And I'll give you an example again from my own community. I'm desperate to get the Palestinians peace.
Sure.
I'm desperate to get Israel to stop the genocide and their attacking, etc.
Totally agree.
So they do a protest in Washington, D.C. They burn the American flag and write Hamas on a statue. No, don't do that.
I'm in agreement with you there.
Because if you burn the American flag, you're saying you want to drive Americans away from you. No, invite Americans, bring American flags to that protest.
Could not agree more. I think then what I just don't see then how that comes back to the claim that culture wars kind of divide us. And if they do, does that mean we should move away?
Did you not see the trans issue divide the hell out of us?
100%. You are using one issue to describe all of the culture war.
But then you got DEI.
Okay, well, we can talk about that. But you would then have to specify and be a bit more clear. Because look, I understand that we're on YouTube, and the goal is to get clicks. And when you make kind of very absolute statements, like all Democrats and Republicans are the same.
But do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what I'm saying, and I probably agree a lot with you on a lot of stuff. I think that when you sideline social issues and make it seem like social issues are secondary, to me, I think that there are some things that shouldn't be secondary.
All I'm trying to get people to realize is that, first of all, in my opinion, the right wing is the one that brings up all of these issues. They went looking for a fight on critical race theory. Yep. They went looking for a fight on DEI. They went looking for a fight on trans sports. Yep. When they get you in a situation where they've got you on an unpopular policy.
Correct.
Stop fighting. Stop falling into that trap and that ambush.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you in part. I think the problem as well with how the prompt is framed is it treats right-wing fake culture war issues that they make up with real, actual issues like women's bodily autonomy. So I think there's just an issue in general.
Your distinction is no problem at all.
Okay.
It's just what I've lived in the real world is that when I say, hey, maybe we shouldn't go maximalist on every issue, all of the other left-wing hosts attack me and go, you're not pure enough. I'm going to get more clicks than you by being even more pure.
I'm the first person to stand there and agree with you that maximalism might not be the correct solution, often isn't. I just think, and as we're winding down, it's just really important to not neglect social issues such as women's access to their own bodies, such as LGBTQ rights, such as all that.
Them.
Okay, good. Then I guess then asking you moving forward, maybe make an emphasis that your populism doesn't neglect the very groups that you claim to want to fight for.
You got a deal.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Right.
It's been great.
Okay.